Hi, Future Dakota. What's up? Long time no fucking see. Hope everything's doing great. It's been about 6 months since I posted to this channel, so here I am. Um, and I really wanted to do a video summarizing my quarantine experience, just because it feels as if the months have just completely fallen out of my brain. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that I spend a lot of my time on internets, and all I do is binge watch shit. So that's really all I'm doing. It's kind of like each day is like kind of the same, so you kind of forget that there are days. But yeah, quarantine came at a very good time for me, I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, there's really no good time for a worldwide pandemic, but personally, it was really beneficial for me, as weird as that sounds, because at the time quarantine began in March, I was losing it. I had become so overstressed and so completely absorbed into my work that it was to a point where I didn't have a life outside of work, and all that really went on in my brain were interviews and tips on how to increase my speed and etc., etc., etc. That's all I was thinking about. I drove to work with my coworkers every day. I went to lunch with my coworkers every day, and I drove home with them every day. I would get home at 5 p.m. and just fucking relax, binge watch until nighttime, and then I would go to sleep. On the weekends, I would do like grocery shopping, and like that's it. That was all I did. And it got to me. It got to my mental health pretty badly because I wasn't living my life. I was living the life of a recruiter. And it sucked. And I really needed the space. So I got laid off and started getting unemployment, which was very beneficial. And although I did have a decent savings cushion, I am extremely grateful for that unemployment. It helped me out immensely, and gave me the freedom to still feel comfortable spending money on myself, which is something that I don't generally feel comfortable doing, because I am cheap. But yeah, all I did was binge watch shit and self-reflect and think and just kind of look at myself and look at my life. And I did a lot of soul searching in terms of my eating disorder in particular, which was extremely beneficial for me, being that I've had this problem for over a decade and hadn't even fully accepted it until like about 4 or 5 years ago, because there's a big difference in between knowing that you do things that anorexics do and knowing that you're anorexic. It seems like it shouldn't be a disconnect, but it kind of just is. Especially for me personally, I tend to find a disconnect between most people's experiences with eating disorders, primarily because my eating disorder is not rooted in body dysmorphia like a lot of individuals are, which, I mean, I'm definitely grateful for that, but it makes things a little bit confusing because I don't quite know where to start in my journey, knowing that it's not because I hate the way I look, it's because I hate the way people view me. And that's tough, especially when it's not a physical thing. But I want to do an in-depth video in the future talking just about my eating disorder for minutes at a time, because I would like to collect all my thoughts into one concise video. So I'm likely going to be putting one of those up. But it's very eye-opening to kind of look at my anorexia, my ADD, my anxiety, and my depression, and kind of seeing how they intertwine and what symptoms are from which disorder and which ones kind of make a nice little cocktail of chemicals. And it's definitely been a beneficial time in my life in terms of soul searching, because something about myself is that I am an extremely highly functioning person. And I say that because I don't mean that in like I'm the fucking greatest, I'm a god. I mean that I am a highly functioning anorexic. I am a highly functioning anxiety freak. I am a highly functioning depressive. Like, these are issues that I deal with on a daily basis and choose to not let them affect me or affect what I need to accomplish, because they affect me on the inside. That's the thing. They still fuck me up in here, but I'm still able to keep doing whatever I'm doing by pushing everything down. And so, I mean, I could probably have a panic attack while driving a car. I'm pretty sure I have had a panic attack while driving a car and successfully drove the vehicle safely, because I just got super duper good at pushing it all down, because I just couldn't deal with it in the moment. And that happened a lot with Panera, or with my old job, because I was in a very high stress situations and I couldn't have a panic attack. I needed to stop crying or continue sobbing while baking baguettes or whatever the fuck it was. I had to, so I did. And I just kept doing that to the point now where I'm forcing myself to eat cereal through a panic attack. Like, girl, if it gets soggy, just throw it away and grab a new bowl. Chill out for a second, you know? And it's hard to kind of get there, but once you realize that you're intentionally bottling all of your emotions up, you start to notice it a lot more. So that's been great, that I know what's going on. Even if I'm not communicating it, even if, someone came over and I'm just really sad that day, I'm not necessarily going to act like I'm on crack. I'm probably going to act normal, not necessarily going to get into it, but I'm totally getting off track, and none of this is making any sense. Fuck, how do I always get here? Shit, regardless. I'm improving. And recovery is not linear. Especially when it comes to anorexia. It's very up and then down. And anorexia is almost kind of a little bit like a circle, kind of like addiction, but a lot of people do consider anorexia an addiction. I personally don't see my eating disorder as an addiction, just because it doesn't feel so much addictive as it does habitual. I'm a very habitual person, so, going from consistently eating 500 calories for 10 years straight every single day, and then all of a sudden realizing I need to quadruple that number is just very overwhelming for me. It has nothing to do with being addicted to cutting the calories. Regardless, it's definitely kind of like a circle, because the thing is, I get into this rut with myself a lot where I have a lot of anger at myself for treating myself horribly. So it'll go like I don't have the energy to make lunch, and then all of a sudden I'm hating myself because I didn't make myself lunch, and that just makes me feel even worse and does nothing to address the problem. So I've been trying to not get into those patterns with myself and be a little bit more patient, because although I am amazing at patience with literally everybody else, I have no patience for myself, which is just weird, but I'm trying to kind of treat myself like another person, and that seems to be working out a little bit. So hopefully I will continue with my soul searching. I'm still working from home, so that's why this happened, because I don't have to go in to the office every day. Although apparently I'm hearing that dress code may be a little bit more relaxed when we go back, and I hope so. I would love to wear jeans every day to work. Ugh, amazing. And I'm moving out too in a month, a little bit less, like 3 weeks, which is going to be a big change, but it'll be nice to live in a house rather than an apartment, and there'll be a dog there and some cats, and that's cool. I have like lots of animals around. I like that. And of course I'm living with 4 boys, so that's gonna be an interesting adjustment, but I think it'll work out. I hope so. It feels really right. It feels really universe-y and like karmic, and I like it. Everyone thinks it's dumb when I say shit like that, but it's true, because the reason I met these boys through my ex-girlfriend, because she moved in with them and I'm moving into her old room. So it feels kind of almost like it's meant to be, and that feels kind of cool, and I'm really happy about that. I don't really have any kind of finish line or game plan, I guess, and that makes it sort of hard, because how are you supposed to have the motivation to finish the race when you don't know what's at the finish line? But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just running, and future Dakota, if one day you get there and you can see it, you can see the finish line, and you don't like it, fucking make another route. Turn. Figure it out until you can see a finish line that you enjoy. Because I'm so sick of limiting myself, and I need my future me to know that you are capable of anything. Whatever you want. You can be happy. So find happiness and do it. Don't let anyone fucking take it from you. I was aggressive, but sometimes I need it. I don't know, life is kind of weird right now, but like, when is it not? I feel like I'm in a dystopia. But I'm trying not to think about the outside world, because I can't fix anything out there if I can't even fix what's in here. So, gotta focus on myself, as difficult as that is. And No Girls 2020 has been helping with that, because I have nobody else to focus on. My roommate literally moved out. I'm alone. I don't know, but hope you're doing great, future Dakota. Hope you're doing whatever the fuck you want, because YOLO. Don't lose that. And good luck with life. Maybe stop vaping one day. Hopefully. We'll see. But just enjoy whatever you're doing. Just fucking enjoy it. You're required to. Okay. Bye. Love ya.